Yeah, U3, live from the underground.
Yo, it's your girl DJ Baby Blue Diamond, and you tune into U3 Underground Inside and Unknown. And we have a special guest, our first book writer, author, publisher, Nicholas Brown from Florida. What it do?
Hey, how y'all doing this evening?
We're doing good. We're doing good. How'd you get into book writing and writing books?
Oh man. Well, at first, back in the day, I was calling myself trying to rap or what have you with friends. We
Oh,
was trying to start like music production companies or whatever, but they didn't really go nowhere. And but while trying to get my rap game on or whatever, I always stayed in college. Like I'll take a class here, two classes there. After a while, I slowly looked up and I'm like, oh snap, a few more credits and I get my bachelor's in English. Oh well, let me finish, right? And then on my way to finishing up, when you're going for your degree in English at Florida International University, you have to take creative writing classes. And you know, while taking the creative writing classes, a lot of the teachers they would read my short stories and be like, "Yo, you need to try out for this event. Yo, you need to try out for that." And I'd be like, "I hear you, but I whatever, man. What I look like reading Rainbow? What I look like? You know what I mean?" That was my little slip response. And then one of them there was like, "Yeah, this story turned it in. Tried this event called Lip Service Miami." And I'm like, "All right, I'll turn it in. Let me see what they." And out of like dozens, if not hundreds of people that submit short stories, they only pick eight. And my story got selected in toward the end of 2012, I think it was. And I had to go down to the Miracle Theater in Coral Gables down here. It's a old historical theater, what have you. And yeah, I read in front of 300 people, and from then on, I was like, okay, let me see where this goes. So I just been, perfecting my craft ever since, putting together manuals, learning how to put them together from scratch, books, how to edit them, how to do formatting, the different levels of editing or whatever, and yeah, just really learning how to put together a book inside out by myself or whatever. So yeah, that's what got me into it because I've always liked writing stories or whatever. I mean, ever since I was a kid, I'll never forget one of the first stories, even though all I did was bite Spider Man. One of the first stories I ever put together was my own black version of Spider Man or whatever called Arachno Kid back when I was in like fourth grade.
okay.
And I submitted that. Well, my teacher took the story, submitted it to the Dade County Youth Fair or whatever, and I ended up getting like second place for that.
Oh,
So
look at you.
I've always had the ability to write stories. And just coming from where I'm from, ain't too many storytellers coming out. If you know anything about Miami, ain't too many storytellers coming out of Liberty City, Overtown, Carroll City / Miami Gardens. Ain't too many of us coming out the hood. So I ain't never think to try to put two and two together when it came to storytelling and writing books.
Do you write the stories that you read? Do you write the stories, the type of stories that you read, or is it different?
But what do you mean?
Like the same genre? Like, do you gravitate to the same genre of books that you read and what you write?
Uh, to be honest with you, I just write what excites me or whatever. That's what I'm realizing now. Because the first book I put Dragonflies in the Swamp, that was like my first project that I was hoping to get published or whatever. That would have been more in the memoir / poetry section. The second book I wrote is So You Want to Be a Stripper, comprehensive guide to go from Girl Next Door to pole dancing diva. That's more of the adult section or whatever. And then VIP Confessions, what really goes down in Champagne Room, another book that you got to get on a website or whatever. That's erotica.
Yeah.
And this next one here is going to be erotica, and then I have other stories that are either historical based. I got another book, So You Want to Be a Baller, Comprehensive Guide to Go from Broke on the Bus to Balling in the Benz. That's more about rags to riches stories of the last 75 to 100 years, and what process, what steps they took to come up or whatever. And now you can apply that to your life if you want to try to, change your mind frame on getting money or whatever.
Yeah.
Because when it comes to getting paid, you have to change your mind frame first. You know what I mean? Then you go on to pursuing whatever it is you're trying to do. And then I have another book that's going to be like more of a graphic novel, more of an action adventure sort of thing. So it's whatever story that comes to mind, or idea that somebody that might have that wants me to help them write or put a book together that catches my attention. You know what I mean? So it could be any genre, to be honest with you. The story and the plot has to catch my attention.
Yeah. Now, I know you have that book, So You Want to Be a Stripper, and it's through the female's point of view of, how to become an exotic dancer and make money. Are we going to get one from the male's point of view soon? Like, there's some male strippers
How to
out
be
there.
a male? How to be a male? See, I'd have to come across somebody that's into that world, because the
Yeah.
person I co-wrote that with, my business partner with the Family Shade Publishing, or whatever, she was a dancer for like 14, 15 years.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? And we always remained good friends, and I brought the idea to her, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm down." And then, we put it together, and now, it's all on Amazon.
Got you. Okay. Well, hopefully you meet somebody, a male stripper, so we can get that book out. That would be kind of dope, get the male side of things.
Yeah,
And
I'll be glad
also,
to
I'm
do it,
hoping
man.
we get a book about sugar babies, because, that's a big thing too. That'd be dope if we meet someone, the life of sugar babies,
Yeah.
and,
Okay.
so
Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna have to ask around, but yeah, most definitely.
that'd be dope.
Those are the type of those are the type of books that I wouldn't mind putting out under the imprint that my business partner and I, the lady who I did the dancer manual with, and the Family Shade Publishing. We plan on doing stuff like that,
Mhm.
mostly erotic, more on the sexual adult side or whatever. Will go through the Family Shade Publishing. So shoot, if you know somebody or whatever, I'll be glad to do it. A sugar baby, whoever. I'm glad to do that sort of stuff.
Now, when you were helping with the book, So You Want to Be a Stripper, and the other one, what Confessions? Did
VIP
you learn any?
confessions.
Huh?
VIP confession.
Yeah, VIP Confessions. Did you learn anything that you didn't know? Like, what's like one big thing that you learned that you didn't know, that you was kind of shocked, that you was like, what? Or was it
Man.
like, yeah, I expected. I'm not too shocked.
Well, one thing most definite or whatever is, and that's only because a woman who I put this inside of VIP confessions. Like, all right, for those who don't know how, of course y'all don't really know whatever. But VIP Confessions is 12 stories, right? From different dancers who used to dance here in South Florida, right? Mostly in Miami area and like Fort Lauderdale or whatever, right?
Oh.
And it's 12 different stories, but I changed like the names and locations or whatever to protect the women. Plus,
Yeah.
I even went as far, because all of these women, they black, but they asked me to be like, could you please really go all out to change my identity? So I had to make some of the characters white, some of the characters Asian, Latin, or whatever, just to really look out for those sisters or whatever, because a
Yeah.
lot of them, they got kids now and families and stuff, and they don't want their past to ruin them like that. So I'm like, all right, cool. But with each story, it gets raunchier and raunchier, and the 12 stories are separated into 3 separate sections or what have you, right? And no, 4 sections, excuse me, in 4 sections: soft, stiff, hard, rock hard. Those are the 4 sections, 3 stories each section. And at the end of every story or what have you, and whoever's listening, I'll be glad to give uh, DJ Baby Blue over here, Diamond, ebook copy or whatever. She could share it to whoever they're curious to read it, free, all on me, or what have you. And but yeah, at the end of every story, there's sex tips, and one of the stories is about a woman giving head or whatever. Right, that was her specialty, giving head. And while doing research on that or whatever, because like I said, I give sex tips at the end of every story. One lady who I came across, who I know from a freak group, I had to join like a bunch of freak nasty groups
Oh,
on Facebook
look at
to
you
get my
now.
research or whatever. Hey, I wanted to make sure I gave great information.
Research,
And
that's what you call it now?
no, I
I'm
really was
joking.
researching straight up.
I'm joking.
Yeah, I know. And one of the things is that that I always thought that if a woman had a gag reflex, then that was it. Kind of find out a woman can train herself not to have a gag reflex.
Oh yeah, there's YouTube videos on it all the time.
I had no idea
I didn't
about
know
all
that
that or
either
whatever
until
because
randomly in one of my group chats, they're like, "Oh, how do I stop having a gag reflex?" And then I just randomly went to YouTube, and I was like, "Dang, all these videos!" I'm like,
yeah, and the woman she taught herself back in the day, and she was telling other people inside the freak group what they had to do to try to eliminate their gag reflex or whatever. And I told her, hey, could I use this for my book? She was like, yeah, fine, go ahead. And I added that into VIP Confessions. That was one of the main things because, like I said, I always thought that if a woman, didn't have a gag reflex, then she's just blessed. Had no idea the regular woman can train herself not to have that shit no more. Like, all right, cool. So I ever find wifey or whatever, she has some things to do. She has some things to practice before we get to the honeymoon. You know what I mean? Hey, whatever.
"Oh." So, would you ever date a stripper?
That's iffy, man. That's real iffy because some of them, it's like this. At least 80 to 90% of them, there's some strange things for some change, even if it's just one time or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because a lot of dancers they come from struggle, you know, and they doing it for money, and then sometimes they find themselves in a tough spot where they like, dang, I gotta pay my rent, my babysitter, my car acting up, and my mama's sick. Ah man, I gotta do something or whatever. So, a dude come through, be like a dope boy or whoever who come through and be like, hey, and you have these dudes in the strip club, whatever, they got money and every time they see a particular girl that they like, they be like, hey, I'll give you 500 for this and that, 200 for this and that. And the girl should be like, nah, I'm good, nah, quit trying me. Ignored it until she finds herself in that tough spot.
yeah.
Next thing you know, that guy comes through and be like, man, I know I done came at you with the five. Man, I got 1,500 because I need 1,500 just so I can smash. Come on, what's up? She in a tough spot. She might just jump on that 1,500. But here's the thing though, some women, they might do it that one time, be ashamed, and be like, I had to do what I had to do. But then some women, they like, you know what? That was hella easy. I'm gonna do this at least once a week. Just turn tricks once a week. And
Yeah.
then next thing you know, once a week turns to twice a week. And then next thing you know, they looking for sugar daddies and other dope boys and dudes with money or whatever who wouldn't mind fronting the bill on them all the time when they come through. You know what I mean?
Is there any movie concept that you see out, or not really like movie concept, but any genre of movie that you really just want to get your hands on and try to make it into a book? Like the street life, the club life, anything that you
Well,
haven't wrote about
well,
already that you
well,
just want to write about?
well, well, the one book that I'm working on now that I'm doing old school, I'm talking about writing by hand or whatever, the outline and then typing it up. I was looking at one movie, and the only reason why I sat down and looked at it, the movie is called One Night Stand. It came out in 1998. It was during quarantine, and I had ran out of Netflix movies to watch, and and I was like, and the only reason why I looked at it is because Robert Downey Jr. and and Wesley Snipes is in that movie. These are the two men that are so-called responsible for helping to launch the MCU or whatever, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm a
Yeah.
big comic book geek. So
Me too.
just by knowing that these two guys were in the movie, I was
Yeah.
like, oh shit, the guy's responsible for bringing my childhood to life. Hell yeah, let me see it. The
Yeah.
movie was trash, but the thing is, for some reason, I kept looking at it and looking at it. I looked at it like 10 times, and I'm like, there's something with this story. If you would have changed this and that, and next thing you know, my mind started working, and now I'm like working on like the 6th chapter of the outline by hand, old school or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, that you could sort of say was inspired to help me put together this next project or whatever. But in terms of like a movie that I wouldn't mind turning to my own, what they consider fan fiction or whatever, maybe Black Panther and James Bond. A
Oh,
combination of those two characters or whatever.
yeah.
I kind of have an idea for that, an outline that I wrote way back when I first started doing creative writing classes when I was finishing up college or whatever. I'm looking to dust that idea off, and put it together. Because was on Black Panther since way back or
Yeah.
whatever.
If you're a comic book fan, yeah.
Yeah, the rest of y'all just catching up.
Just
or
got
whatever.
on it.
I've been
Yeah, I know.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I came up with an outline, so I'm gonna dust that off and work on that or whatever. But yeah, there's not a lot of movies. It's just whatever I come across that inspires me, straight up and down. Like for example, the Baller Manual. So you want to be a baller, comprehensive guide to go from broke on the bus to balling in Benz.
Yeah.
See, I'm a big history buff. I read a lot of business books and history books, and one of the books that I enjoyed reading, I read like 3 times in a row, was the 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene,
Yeah.
and his format and how he did it or whatever, it was nice. I like how he did it. And then other books like Midas Touch by Robert Kiyosaki, which he co-wrote with punk ass Donald Trump or whatever. Like the formats of those 2 books really caught my attention or whatever. So I just put it together and boom, came up with the Baller Manual. And hopefully, those who are business minded, this would be a good starter kit for you, if you will. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, since you are
So
a comic book fan, you are a comic book fan, superhero fan. If you could turn yourself into your own superhero character, what would it be? What would your power be?
you mean just come up with something from scratch, or something
Anything. If you can come up with your own, like you could turn yourself into any superhero, whether it's already out there or from scratch, what would your power be?
That's tough. I mean, the one character I would want to be or whatever is one character in Marvel Comics called the One Above All. He's supposed to be like the god per se, can do whatever he wants or whatever in
Yeah.
Marvel Comics. But if I were to just have a power or whatever, period, I would like to have what's called probability manipulation, aka good luck.
Yeah.
Like I can control my own luck, and the only reason why is because as a kid there was the old school version of DuckTales, right? Because they brought that show back, but and Scrooge McDuck had like a nephew or a cousin who was just a lucky duck, literally. And everything he did was just lucky or whatever. He didn't have to work for anything because he had the power of luck on his hands, right? And I always thought that was fly or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And then you have characters like Domino, who who's part of X-Force or whatever, where her powers is probability manipulation, where she causes other people around her to get bad luck, but she doesn't get hit.
Yeah.
So that's powerful within itself. So to have probability manipulation, You know what I'm saying? That means I can step into a casino and be like, at any given moment, I can win $1 million jackpot. I can scratch off something. I can, dang, this person got shot. They need a blood transfusion. If I make the phone call to a hospital, they just so happen to have that blood type if I make the call.
Yeah,
See what I'm saying? You can
yeah,
just the power of good luck just to swing it in people's favors or whatever. You know what I mean?
yeah.
In my favor and other people's favor as well.
I like that. That's dope. That'll be a dope character. Okay, I can see you doing that. Okay, Mr. Lucky. I can see you doing that. That's nice. How do you compete with well, I know your books are online too with the audiobooks, but how do you compete with the audiobook versus print? Because I know more people with
Nah,
with the way that the internet is changing and that technology is changing.
see, with the audiobooks, I still have to go back and I have to find a decent studio or whatever,
Yeah.
because the stuff that I was doing before, I was doing it here at the house, but I'm like, the audio sucks, so I gotta find a professional studio, and that costs. But when it comes to audiobooks or whatever, I would more want to push that independently because you could put it up on Amazon. Amazon, I think they have a thing or what have you, and there's a few other avenues that sell people's audio books or what have you. But I would more want to put together that independently, like let the book sell itself, and
Yeah.
then eventually when enough requests for an audiobook comes, then I'll, scrape up the money or probably made enough money off the books to go into the studio and come and put together the audiobook or whatever. Cause that takes time and money, man. A lot of people
Yeah.
don't realize because you gotta pay for studio time, you gotta pay for them to edit it, and then go the extra mile by mastering it or whatever. I mean, yeah, it's just your voice and maybe a few sound effects or some background music or whatever if you want to try to get fancy, depending upon the project. But yeah, man, I would rather more push that independently after getting some, enough sales or whatever. That way
Yeah.
the project can pay for itself. Or I know there's popularity out there for the book. You know what I mean? I'd rather get
Yeah.
to a certain level than do that. You know what I mean?
I wonder how that VIP confessions sound on audiobook. You say you give out sex tips.
That one I definitely want to do, but I'd have to pay 12 different girls to do the voices or whatever
Yeah.
because with the
And then you
sex
gotta
tip
get you
part,
someone to like, act. Then you gotta get someone for like the sex tips too.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no. See, the thing is, I wrote the sex tips and the voice of the character, so
Oh,
I could
okay,
just
okay, that
I
makes
could
sense.
use the
Okay,
same
so I
girl,
feel you. Okay, yeah,
but I'd have to either a find a woman that can act out 12 different characters, or at least 6 women that can act out 2
yeah.
characters each. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, papi. Okay, papi. I'm joking. I can't even do it. I won't even try.
Hey, nah, there's a few black women in the book, so you know what I mean. Who knows? I mean, if you could do
Yeah.
a mean Jamaican accent, you might be in there.
Oh, I wish I knew how to do a Jamaican accent. You got to teach me how to do a Jamaican accent. I don't know. I could say I could say some Jamaican words, but I can't do no accent.
Yeah, yeah, it's not that
See, I
hard
can't do
thing.
all that. I can't. I can say words, but I can't do it. Now we know you had a podcast before, and then you kind of stopped that. What made you want to start your podcast, and what are some of the top you talked about? Because I know you really talked about. I don't want to say relationship, but you really talked about women. I'm gonna put that out there. You let it know the real about women. You say stuff about, and it wasn't in a bad way. Like you wasn't doing it in a way where you was like downgrading women, making them like look bad. You just let them know the real about women from the point of view of a man. So, what made you want to start that podcast and talk about those topics?
Well, with the podcast, I just did that. I just do that as a hobby or whatever. I jump on every so often and shoot. I
Yeah,
might just do one. I might just do 1 or 2 over the next few days or whatever. It's only whenever something's really bothering me and I have to voice it, and I
yeah,
figure, who knows, this point of view might help somebody. But yeah, the reason why I'm more dig into women or whatever is because, during my time of self discovery, or what have you over the last few years, it's like, I'm getting older, and I wouldn't mind having a wifey or whatever. But
Yeah.
the thing is, and I ain't saying that whoever I meet has to be purist driven snow and none of that or whatever. You know what I mean? But I do want someone to respect them. You know, and it's like, can you find something like that nowadays in this climate? And it's like the more you start to look at stuff while going out in the dating world or whatever, you find more headaches than successes lately or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And then when you try to share your point of view on certain things, like one of the things, right, some women they complain about nowadays, right, is more newer age women. You'll ask them, do you know how to cook? Just a simple question. I mean, I
Yeah.
can throw down a little something in the kitchen. I figure you
Yeah.
should be
I
able
know how
to
to
as well.
cook.
A little bit. I ain't no chef, but I'm right. Right? And some women they'll be like, why you asking me all that? I don't cook for no man. I mean, why I gotta know how to cook? Do you know how to build a house? I mean, what? That's a false equivalent like a mug. What do you mean? You know what I mean? So it's just running into foolishness or whatever. So it's
I always
like,
find it shocking because I've seen this before. Like I've seen like men get married and they mostly do the cooking, and I'd be like, I'd be a little shocked. And some of them say, "Oh, I never made cooking a requirement." I'm like, that couldn't be me. I have to make cooking a requirement so we both can share it 50-50. And even if you don't know how to cook, I'll be willing to teach you. Now, if you're not willing to learn the little tips here and there, then I'll be like, I don't know. I'm not saying you have to
yeah,
be a master chef, like you said, but a little bit here and there. Are you willing to try? I get it, but
yeah, yeah,
don't
yeah,
make that a requirement. I'm like, okay, but I guess to each his own.
yeah. And then and then other things like like seeing a lot of all right with like with the dancer manual. I have me and my business partner, we have a Facebook page
Yeah,
dedicated to the So You Want to Be a Stripper page, right? And it's like 90,000 likes and followers and such or whatever. It's a bunch of people, and we post up along with advertisements or whatever for the manual. We also post up pictures of beautiful women, and you see dudes just saying some of the thirstiest shit in existence, man. And like,
yeah.
oh, what's her number? What's her DM? This, that, and the third. And I'd be
And that's
like,
one of the main
and then,
reasons why I don't change. People always ask me, how come you never change your profile picture too much? I'm like, that's the main reason. Even if I got clothes on, if I pick a profile picture, I'm keeping that for years and years and years and years, as long as I can, just for that. Because I know it's going to be the same dudes with the same comments. And I'm like, I don't want to hear it. I'm not trying to hear
yeah.
it. Like,
And sometimes I cross promote stuff from the baller manual onto the stripper manual page. And with the baller manual, I put up links like to like CNBC posts, Forbes magazine, stuff that they should give game on how to get
they
bread, how to
don't care
get
about
paper, how to be
the
business
half
minded.
naked women.
They'll 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 smooth probably get like 2-3 likes on something, and then you'll post up a half naked woman, you get 1 million likes on it
Yeah,
and
that's
shares
all
and
it is.
stuff, and I'm like, yo, y'all too focused on the wrong thing. You know what I mean? Because one of the things I learned, um, growing up and I'm applying it more now as a grown man, is when you follow the money, we you focus on bread, women never leave.
Yeah,
But if you focus on chasing women, they have the power to be like, no, I don't want to deal with your thirsty ass. You know what I'm saying? And
exactly.
you end up losing time and money or whatever. That I break down in the baller man or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it's yeah. So I more want to see guys making better decisions or whatever. Because hey, you ain't gotta be like it ain't gotta be like you want to be a mega billionaire or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But get your mind and your money right. That way you can pass stuff on. Generational wealth to your family or whatever. You know what I mean? You running out chasing females, busting a nut for the night. Okay, that's cool. But afterwards, did you get paid from it? Are
Yeah.
you balling from it? Did you get some information from this woman that can help better your life? And if your life gets better, you can make your family life better. That's if your family, they have their mind right as well. Then you can help build generational wealth. You can help go from ashy to classy by the time your grandkids come along. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's about just improving yourself and your family at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What's next for you, Mr. Nicholas Brown? Are we gonna get any other books besides adult books, like any like teenage books, kids books? Or you're not trying to go that route?
Yeah. Because my big plan with all this, right, is to start with what's called, and I haven't incorporated it yet or whatever, but it's getting there. Because so far we had with from the Feminist Shape Publishing that we have incorporated. But without the main focus is the Hootie Writing and Publishing, and that will be the parent group or whatever. Usually, you're
Yeah.
supposed to have the parent group first, and then you start off with the imprints. But this imprint, my business partner or whatever, she wanted to hurry up and get it kicked off because she really wants to, get the ball rolling. Plus, we do see some kind of money coming in from the dancer manuals or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, we'll start with that. But the big goal is to have my own literary conglomerate where you
Nice.
have the Hootie Writing and Publishing as the parent company. You have uh, the Femme Shade Publishing for the erotic and romance novels. You'll have Pippin Pens, that will be for the street stuff or whatever. You know what I mean? Like if I come across like the next Iceberg Slim or something like that, boom, definitely go into that category. You feel me?
Yeah.
And then eventually have something for kids and young adults and such. So each have my own imprints under the conglomerate in the long run.
Okay. I like that. I can't wait till we see all that in your future. I see great things for you. Keep going. Don't stop. You make great books. And I know women are going to eventually, I know women are going to love your books, the VIP Confessions, So You Want to Be a Stripper. I know my people who haven't heard you are going to love those books. I will drop you links at the, I will drop your links in the description of the YouTube video so they can check out your books because I know they're going to love it. And hopefully men can finally read that So You Want to Be a Baller book. I want a lot of men to get onto that because, I want them to get out that hood mentality because, that's what they stuck on because that's what they see, They need to just change
Yeah,
that.
see what they fail to realize is you're supposed to utilize that as inspiration to go further. See, a lot of people, they're they're disenfranchised, so they figure all they see is the hood, all they know is the hood, and that's all it's gonna be. You know what I mean? Me, I roll with a lot of dudes that were kind of like that were on that or whatever, in and out of jail types or what have you, and it's just really just them lost. Like you could tell they want more out of life or whatever, or else they wouldn't try to sell dope to get money or whatever.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? But they figured that's the only route that they have available that can get them to $1 million. Not realizing if they took a step back and really just looked around or whatever, there's more than one way to come up or whatever. You just got to step outside the box. Got to look outside yourself. And I ain't really start stepping outside the box myself. I mean, even though they say a lot of people college is not for them, but college, I believe, in some ways saved my life in a way because I got
yeah,
to be around different types of people. You know what I'm saying? With different business ideas or whatever. Some ideas were a bit far fetched or what have you, but at least I knew that there were brothers, black men.
yeah,
Some of these guys, they were nerdy as hell, but black men with ideas that are way outside the box. And hopefully some of those guys, got into something or whatever where they got to bigger and better things. But these were dudes that were straight out of the hood as well. You know what I mean? So it's just changing your mentality or whatever and being willing to try to look for other ways to get money.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I agree with that
And,
100%.
yeah.
I do. Well, thank you, Nicholas Brown, for stopping by U3. It's always good to have my first writer, publisher, however you want to call it. It's my first, so you're my first, and I like it. And I'm trying to expand besides artists. So I'm happy to have Black-owned businesses on my show doing things that other Black kids can see and aspire to be that one day and grow up to be that one day. Because you can inspire other kids to
Thank
be
you.
writers. So I appreciate you stopping by U3. It's always, like I said, it's always good. And every time you want to come back to promote your new book, let me know. I will definitely have you back. I can have your business partner back. You can talk about more in depth of your books. Whenever you want to, just let me know. We support you 100%. Whatever you do, we
Thank
support
you.
you. And it's your
Thank
girl,
you.
DJ Baby Blue Diamond, and we are signing